focused since launch on innovation. So if we think back to 2017 when Finecast was launched in its first market in the UK, we've absolutely pioneered within the addressable TV ecosystem. And so innovation's always been core and central to our DNA. And as we move through conversations with clients, we're kind of having a two-speed conversation with them. And one element is total TV transformation. So how to move from linear through to addressability, but how to do it in a non-disruptive way that is complementary. But at the same time, being able to innovate. And I think that that's the difference, and it's one of the beauties of addressable TV and the transformation itself. I think every client undertook digital transformation, and almost the transformation process itself took over, and innovation kind of took a bit of a back seat. Within the TV space, addressable TV space, the two can run in parallel. And so innovation remains central and core to our DNA. 2022, we've built out global capability from an innovation perspective, so we have a team laser focused on innovation. And so 2023, we're going to see a really solid roadmap roll out. And the way that we approach innovation is it's a perfect blend of process and ideation. And by that I mean we work with our individual markets, we ideate in the individual markets, we lift those ideas up to a global level, we ideate at the global level, we push those ideas down into the market, and we make sure that everything we're doing around innovation is meaningful. And so for us, we've got some sort of key pillars around innovation that we're focused on for 2023, that again, as I say, it's all about the customer benefit and the client benefit will really help our clients innovate while they're transforming. So just to share a few of those, one of them is a notion of redefining reach. What does that mean? It just means about identifying new environments to access audiences, and that's, as we know, happening through the sort of redefining of television. We have a proprietary research platform called Thinking Inside the Box, and through those research platforms we've identified that this definition of television has actually changed, and that's depending upon audience. And so that's whether it be BVOD or OTT being defined as purely television, or gaming being defined as premium content. So there's some real shifts happening there. So redefining quality reach, always through the lens of premium content, is very much sort of a part of the innovation roadmap. And I think over time that will take us into other areas and into other platforms. And again, if you think we're an audience-first business, GeoKey is our identifier. We follow the audience, which means we can then transcend into other screens, whether that be in transport or addressable cinema, etc. So that's a really exciting area for us. Another area is obviously combining the power of TV with commerce. That is a really interesting one, and one that's very much in the mindset of all of our clients across every industry and every category that we work with. And this again pertains to the great ability for television to play in both the top and the bottom of the funnel. So branding, but also into those performance metrics that often clients want. And so being able to combine commerce with that really is a North Star. And so we are working with clients from particular sectors and categories on QR coding, working through, again, bringing process. What's the process we undertake to embed the QR code into the addressable TV creative? How do we benchmark performance? How do we start to learn what's good performance for a QR code? And how we track that performance. But also into areas like virtual product placement. And again, this plays really nicely back into the world of television. Product placement in itself might seem a bit old and not as flexible as marketers often want sort of creative or in-program advertising to work. But with AI, machine learning, combined the data precision of digital with that great, beautiful TV canvas, and being able to really use the technology to create virtual ad placement, and importantly in the post-production process. It's really exciting for brands. And again, there's an opportunity to get involved in a lot of test and learn hypothesis. Doing a lot in the innovation space.
That's great. So along some of the lines, you covered a lot of ground there, but I wanted to ask you a bit more about, metrics and particularly attention as a metric. These days, you mentioned media is very fragmented, what the definition of television is.
Yeah.
We see consumers distracted, they're watching TV while looking at their phones. So within that, what's your idea about attention?
Yeah. We've been working on attention for a number of years now, and attention also falls into our innovation roadmap because metrics, I think, particularly within the television space and the addressable TV space, should be seen as innovation because we're doing something new and something exciting and something that hasn't been done before. So we've worked extensively with arguably the world's expert on attention, Karen Nelson-Field from Amplified Intelligence. And we ran a study back early in 2022, earlier on this year, to really look at attention from a platform perspective and specifically the role of attention in television. And we looked at passive attention and active attention. And obviously you want active attention as a brand because it really means that consumer's leaning in. To take a step back to move forwards, the beauty of attention now is that we do have the opportunity to measure it. We do have the ability to collect data points because we have the hardware in people's homes watching how they're actually consuming content and on what platform. And we've seen some amazing results off the back of it. So we do know that active attention is more prevalent within the television environment, full stop. But what we also know is that OTT performs about 20% better than linear TV in terms of active attention, which again is where you want to be playing. We also know that the platform matters and platform functionality, so the way you're using, whether it's a big screen or whether you're on a mobile scrolling through a social feed, there's a difference in that level of active attention, and that's due to attention elasticity. And then finally, we also know that creative matters, and that might sound like a really obvious comment, but it really does. So what we saw through the research was that active attention doesn't decay between a 30-second and a 60-second TVC. And that, again, really highlights the role of creativity in addressable television. And so attention in its many forms, particularly being used as a planning metric and a metric to measure campaigns, whether that be, again, full funnel brand or into the sort of sales uplift side of things. I think it's a really well-rounded approach to taking addressable TV forward.